Okay, well, here we are. I have rescheduled the one with Saji for tomorrow evening. He has done some research on some things that he wanted to share, but I did read your messages about just coming on and just allowing you guys to call and share. So I just set up another stream um, for people to call. And let me see, where's the do. Okay, there is the call-in number and the pin that you enter. Stay on mute until I unmute you. It can hold up to 5 people in there. And while you're in there on hold, you can hear everything that is going on. And I can also then negotiate how long to have people on, on the phones, on the lines, wanting to hear from everybody, anything that anybody has going on that they want to share, so we can listen, grow, glean from one another, as we are all growing, constantly experiencing amazing phenomena, going through an awakening process, shifting our paradigms, seeing the world change and flow right in front of us. You can share current events. You can share about your journey. You can share about your gifts. You can share about the testings that you've been doing. Anything that you guys want to. I have went ahead and went forward with opening it up to allow you guys to share, because it's really important. It is really important to me to get to know you. I know you guys see me, but I want to get to know you guys, like a family, like brothers and sisters that we are, each of us having a unique experience, but out of each unique, beautiful sovereign being, we can all glean from one another and grow together through the experiences that we share with one another. It's actually a wonderful and profound thing. And the live streams that I've been doing, they all are kind of building on one another and getting into topics that I've been putting off for a very long time because I'm not comfortable talking about it. But if I can, raise an awareness flag so people do not have to go through a similar process as I did, because you don't have to. You don't have to unless we fall under some kind of a dogma, and we'll end up falling under the law. And then we have to then go through a process of being refined, and it's not always fun. I mean, it's not an easy walk. It's not an easy journey to undertake when you are already all these things and more. There's nothing you really need to do unless we fall under into some kind of a trapping or a bondage of some kind. So that's why we're talking about the things that we're talking about from my own experiences, just to kind of wave a flag, because there's no reason for anybody to have to go through a lot of the things that I went through. There is no reason. If it can be avoided, let's do that. Let's just do that. Avoid that hard overcoming lessons that I had to go through. If you want to hear, somebody that is able to just simply talk about it, you can go to a channel. It's called Mind Forward. She actually recorded her entire journey from when she began prophesying and seeing the things manifest and all the things that were going on. And then she erased all of that off of her channel, which was kind of a bummer because a lot of people could glean from it. But even she today will tell you the same thing. that there's no need to go through all of that. It's not necessary. We end up falling under, taskmasters, burdens that aren't ours to carry. And then we believe it. And since we believe it, then we are not professing, what we are saying as Christians and proclaiming the good news of the finished work of him nailing the law. He fulfilled it. It's over. We're not under that. But we still, want to follow 10 commandments or any kind of law that we put ourselves under. We have to go through a refining process to come out the other side when it's just not necessary. So take that as how you will. She is very, very well versed on scripture, and I'm going to talk to her. She's been on here before, did an interview before with us, and see if she's willing to come back over, because her journey is an amazing one. It's a transformational one, but it's dark. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to overcome. Even as you're walking through it, there's so many stumbling blocks. It is like stumbling around in the dark, having a governor over you. You're in like a school, you now have to go through and be buried with Christ and go through that darkness and actually experience it to come out the other side, when we can just have faith in the finished work and walk in that freedom and that sovereignty and be already as we were born as a child of the Most High, loved unconditionally. So anyways, I don't really want to dig too much into that, because we've been talking about that and it's deep, and I kind of want to have some fun and see if anybody wants to call and share what they got going on with them, the awesomeness that I have seen from people from, doesn't matter what country, what culture, what their background is, it's happening. All this restoring and remembering is clicking on really quick within so many. Such a beautiful thing to observe. It's such a beautiful thing to be a part of. Gosh. And the one huge phenomena that was really a blessing to see was the Mandela effect. And I can't say that enough, because people began to talk about things that, we didn't used to talk about. People started to share information about what's going on with them that were taboo topics. And here is a safe place. I'm trying to create a very safe place for people to come out and share and grow and glean from one another, because we each have something remarkable going on within us that we can all glean off of. That's why we're not a cookie cutout, of one personality, one like mind, of one, that's why we're so colorful. And with the sovereignty and the beauty that resides within all of us. Guys, the phones are open. So just call the number, press the pin in, and you'll come in muted, but I will hear you. And actually, since Saji's not here for this call-in show, you'll pipe right through the mic, so your sound should be crystal clear, and no worries there. So anyways, I didn't want to let you guys down on, promising a Wednesday call-in share show and then just dip out, especially when I saw you guys saying, oh, come on, just pop on. So I rescheduled that with him because he's done some research for tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens with that. And I am here. Phones are open just for you guys. So call up, share. What do you have to share? What's going on with you? And back to the Mandela effect. If there's one thing that the Mandela effect has shown me personally is that this place is constantly flowing. It's in flux. It's changing. It's morphing. It's moving. It's living, and by our thoughts, by our essence, by our desires to take care of one another, the paradigm is changing. It's flowing, and it's showing itself. It is showing itself to us by these changes. Some think that we're dimension hopping. Some think that maybe we're going to different worlds. Um, could it simply be that the entire time we have created what is around us, and that we had been locked into one paradigm for so long that we then believed it was fixed? And as we started to be restored, taking sovereignty back onto ourselves and creating something that is wonderful for everyone, that we then started affecting companies, logos, changes, and just about everything that you could think of, to show us, to be an affirmation of where our hearts are. Some look around at the world today and look at it with fear, but don't do that. It just shows that we're, as this is going on, everybody gets a little confused when you find out the place in which we are isn't exactly what we all thought it was. And I'm not making any proclamations that I even know what this place is all about. But I do know that it's changing, it's flowing, and that I'm testing all kinds of things within my own personal walk, and getting the affirmations around me. It's phenomenal, guys. It's absolutely phenomenal. And as I said, it's different people, different walks of life, it's cultures. This phenomena cuts through any man-made construct, any of those false paradigms, and it crosses borders and cultures, colors, creed, nationality, and it doesn't matter. None of that matters, which goes to show us all how we are interwoven into this beautiful tapestry, having an experience for a nice soul growth, spiritual and a soul with an avatar to walk through experiences and grow from them, learn from them, and expand from them. Your heart's here, but it's tardy. Oh my goodness. Hey, my skies, make sure you hit me up whenever you have an opening in your schedule. It's you and there's another, well, I don't know if you want me to say your name. There's another gentleman that is going to be coming on too, and his perspective is from like philosophy. And see, it even cuts through all of those kind of borders, cuts through education, what we think is a high education, or, someone who's not very educated. None of that matters. None of it. Nothing. And also from the creators, the way the creator of this place and the creator of us, who breathe the life into us, the way that we are looked at. We are looked at as children, and we are loved equally. Nobody has a larger portion. But this equal love is so pure and so unconditional that it will literally transform your heart, and appreciate your brothers and sisters and what they have to offer. We glean from one another, seeing the divine in everyone you run into, everyone you come in contact with. You see the sparkle in their eye. Doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. All of the things that from our perspective that we would think would be good, or, if you want to be successful in life, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Well, it doesn't seem to matter when we find out that it's coming from our heart and it's manifesting around us and it's reflecting what is in our heart around us through our toroidal field and then extending out from there. What does education have to do with that? What? You guys tell me. What do you think? How are you experiencing what is going on? I came on, phone number's there, phone lines are open. Utilize, utilize, utilize. I will hang out for about another 15 minutes. If nobody decides to call, we will call it a night, because I only came on tonight to get to know you. I already did a live stream this morning and wanted to, spend some time with you guys. So, hi, Go-Kart Bob. Hi, Preliminal. Hi, D. Oh my God, Lee, just integral. And of course, my Skies 5D. And Dead GPK. Let's see, did I get everybody that? Oh, and Pete R. Michael Fontaine. Michael Fontaine. Oh my gosh, what? And there's me telling you guys that, yeah, I'm waiting on you. Yep. So I'll give you guys a few more minutes and I'll just keep bantering on about, the journey. It's narrow. It's unique to each of us. No two alike. Woven into a beautiful tapestry of exchange, heartfelt exchange, paradigm shifts, observations, perspectives, renewing, taking things to a level of love, even when some people are trying to create discord or casting blame or judgments. The way that I can't see anybody any other way except for with unconditional love. It doesn't matter. I know who they are and who they are to me, and how can I have anything but love? So I walk away in peace. Do not want to cause disruption or disharmony for anybody ever, ever, ever. It's the furthest thing from my heart. Okay. Oh, I love dreams. I love hearing about dreams. That's how that's one of the first things that kicked on with me was started leaving my body and seeing myself sleeping and dreams and like vivid dreams, and then walking through them. I mean, yeah, that was the first thing that came into my awareness back in 2000. Freaked me out a little bit, actually. The leaving my body part was what freaked me out. Because when you leave your body, remember now I'm sleeping in a room that is dark, it's nighttime. So when I leave my body, there's no lights on or nothing. So it's dark and I'm outside my body. I'm looking down at myself. I hadn't yet learned to go out, to go to that place that's no place and then drop down into a time that's no time and then observe and see things. This was when it first started happening. So it was dark and I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And in the meantime, went to the doctor and he's like, oh, night terrors. And I'm like, night terrors? And they give me a pill, and the pill, as you guys know, it didn't do anything. Okay. 608. You are live on Awake and Activate. Who am I talking to? Hi, Pre. Hang on a second. Can you guys hear? Can you hear the caller? Okay. I want to make sure I can hear you just fine. I want to make sure they can hear you. Oh wait, go ahead and say something again. I thought it would pipe through my I don't know. Hang on. Before you start really diving into your share, I want to make sure that they can hear. Okay, they cannot hear you. Hold on. It's not you. Just let. I know. Let me fix it. I'm going to change the settings in here. You guys haven't missed anything. You know who's on the phone. It is preliminary. Okay. And we're going to change mine to these speakers and save the settings. And go ahead and say something.
Okay. So I was just having this. I was just going to talk about this dream I had, and any other subjects. Whatever you're mainly talking about. Is it coming through?
Yes, you're coming through 5 by 5.
Check. Oh, okay. All right, great. Well, this is. I always have dreams that are. It always just seems very real while it's happening, and then I suddenly wake up and it just seemed very strange. This particular dream, everyone's clothes was covered in like plastic, like you see at the dry cleaner, except it was on it was like every person was wearing it, and it had sort of a futuristic setting, yet it was my city, yet everything looked different. And I have no interpretation of it. I don't think it has some, it might have a symbolic meaning. I just thought it was very interesting. And
okay, so you went to sleep and you went to a place that was futuristic. Was it very vivid and colorful? What all did you see?
It was mostly like grays and white building, like kind of a light colored buildings, except it looked like my home city, Milwaukee, except it was all like in 30 years from now.
Uh-huh.
And everyone was wearing plastic, and I thought, oh, this is just very weird.
People were. You said
I was also. I mean, my clothes I had, and it was covered in plastic, and it didn't make sense. I'm just.
Your clothes were covered in plastic, like you were wearing clothes and then plastic over them, or your clothes were plastic?
Yeah. No, the clothes were just clothes, except they were covered in plastic. And I don't remember if our heads were covered in plastic. I just remember the clothes being all plastic, covered in.
When you were seeing this, did you feel like you could make a choice? Like you had a choice that this could be the outcome, or you could change it through your intention?
I was used to it. It was like in the dream that was ordinary. I was accustomed to it. Like, oh, it's another day, and we always wear plastic. And they always continue. Like it felt like the people that I see every night in a dream, it's like continued from the previous night. They always resume right where they left off.
Wow.
So it's all, yeah. Are yours like that? Do they continue, or do they each seem like a separate story?
I do not have this phenomena happen every time my head hits the pillow. I have I have start to finish, but okay, let me explain. It's been
Sure.
decades that I've been doing this, so I've been able to adjust and attune and look and perceive, and then know if it's something that I could have a different outcome in. Like if I find myself as an actor in it, and then what I'll do, then I'll pull myself up, and then I will then pull myself above and watch and be an observer, and then I can see the outcome of it. And then if I don't like that outcome, when we end up walking through that very same situation, I change my reaction, and therefore it changes the outcome. And then I have a deja vu moment. So that's why I'm asking you a lot of questions about this. And for it to be, so is it like every night when you go to sleep, the dream just continues, or whenever you go into
it's like an ongoing, and that's been since the 80s. It seems like it's all related, except it changes a lot over time. So like now, the setting and the people, and I see a lot of people in dreams that I don't know at all in my life, but I know them in the dream. Like I've seen them for years and known them over there. I've never met them here.
You're dream working, yeah. Okay, so you say it changes.
I mean, it's not. I'm sorry, I don't have something really interesting to call about. But,
hello, this is awesome. Hold on a second.
It's kind of fun, and
yeah, it is. And I want to talk more about this because you said that it will change. Sure. It will change for you, like over time. It'll change. Yeah. Well, I'm wondering though, what your gifting is you're able to project approximately 25 to 30 years in the future. And if we don't make a paradigm shift of our perception, that would be the direction that we will be heading in, with looking at, the fear of, what we're wearing masks, people wearing masks, and all of this stuff that
I think the plastic might have represented materialisticness, kind of like a shallow kind of future, like a non-cultural, depersonalized. Like it already feels to me very depersonalized now, and I just think people were a lot closer and more interesting heroes and characters and actors and authors. I mean, when I go to a bookstore now, if I want to buy or if I want to go to the library, I'm always finding something old. There's no new great authors or no great film directors, or I feel like everything's retro. And as far as culture means a lot to me. Like when I look at a city, the most important thing is what is the art scene, the music scene like? And if it's dead, I just, I don't think of it as a very enjoyable place to live.
Even architecture, even the architecture.
And the yes, I agree. Architecture affects people so much. And a lot of them, don't really think about it because they're used to where they are all the time. But if architecture is really beautiful, just think how that would just affect people. And I think it's never talked about. Or it is, but not not effectively.
There's one thing that, I do stand firm on, and that is the dreamer of the dream. The dream
Yeah.
worker is going to be the one we can help, to dig out or to try to assist with an interpretation. But the dreamer of the dream is going to be the one that actually comes to will resonate with the interpretation of what they're seeing.
Yeah, I think so. I think because you kind of go with your heart feeling about it, like,
Mm-hmm.
That I think that's what that meant, or that's what that.
Well, yeah, because I was trying to ask if it's, if you're actually able to project yourself 25 to 30 years in the future on the direction of where mankind is heading based on, what's going on now, if we don't, change our perception. And then you very clearly defined what the plastic over the clothing symbolized.
That occurred to me while I was talking to you. I didn't think that when I woke up. So I'm just, as I was thinking about it, I thought that might be what that meant.
So more.
But I can't, while I'm dreaming, I can't consciously project myself into the future. That's just what I found myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's
hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
To figure out what you're looking at when.
I guess in a dream, if I thought about it, I could say, oh, I want to be in a future setting. Then it would happen, because dreams are like that. You can, if you want to fly, you can fly. And,
oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Have you not done those kind of lessons yet in your dream state where I glide? It feels like I'm on skates, but I'm actually gliding or flying or, lifting.
Or you can learn like classical guitar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a much better musician in my dreams than in reality.
I don't know. I watched the last few of your videos. I was very impressed with not only the artwork, but also
kind
the
of
music.
Abstract jazz. I don't. It's just playful fun. I don't take my music seriously. I have fun with it.
Hey, it's okay to be humble.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And people like it. Some people relate to that, though. They like what I'm doing because it is a mood. It's the kind of music that you won't hear on the radio, or it's just kind of a simplistic ambient music.
But your heart
some are better. Some are better than others. Yeah. I usually delete the ones that don't turn out too good.
Well, when I listen to, I've listened to a couple of them. You can feel through the sounds, that you're creating. You can feel your resonance. You can feel your vibration. It's you.
Yeah.
You're in there. You're in that tone, that vibration.
Yeah. They all kind of feel related. Like, and you see that with anyone. Like whenever you see 10 of their paintings, you can tell it's them. It's like, well, that is
their uniqueness.
That person, you see like their ongoing, their energy going on.
So, are you afraid that we're going to be walking into almost like a cookie cutout of one another in an automaton, shallow type of a future?
Yeah, I think we're already in it. Yeah, I think it's already. I'm feeling so restless, and I just don't like it. I don't like what things are, the direction of things. It doesn't feel human to me. It doesn't feel. I don't like that. Everything's wrong. Everything feels awkward. As far as the things that used to bring people together, that glue is gone. And now we have it. It isn't even the technology could be used in a way that I think it does help in a way, but the actual sense of people's connection as a people, it feels disconnected, and I think that's a huge issue.
let me let you in on a
I'm
little
sorry for
secret.
I'm sorry for generalizing.
No, let me let you in on a little secret.
Yeah.
Before, you introspect and get this understanding,
Yeah.
you already have every tool, every gift. You're already operating in all these. You're just not aware of them. Your basic
Uh-huh.
toroidal field generates up and around you approximately 3 feet on each side. Okay, if we have to stay 6 foot apart, then our field of energy from our heart, the magnetics from our heart, that also plays a big part in this field of connecting to one another. We are
Yeah.
not crossing fields. Now, as
Right.
you're becoming self-aware and taking your sovereignty and your uniqueness, your eclecticness, your beauty, and you're projecting out and around you, you will actually extend much further. So this 6 foot apart will no longer matter when you're standing even 6 foot apart from somebody else who is becoming self-aware as you are. You'll feel them because they're gonna extend out farther around them, appreciating your uniqueness and loving you unconditionally. You're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel you right back into their field. They're trying to do whatever they can to take the human contact, the hugs, the things that
Yeah.
we enjoy most about humanity, the you know cuddling and holding the little ones, babies
Yeah.
being with their moms and they can't see their mom's expressions and they can't see their mom's mouth is terrifying to a newborn. These things,
Yeah.
we have to use caution. When you're at home and it's just you and your newborn, take the freaking mask off, connect with that baby. That baby needs that comfort and that energy constantly being fed in. We not only nourish them, with sustenance, with food, but we nourish with love, energy, and that unconditional, that tethers us to our young, and that safety and comfort that they feel hearing mama's voice, hearing daddy's voice. Even wearing a
Well,
mask, you can't hear people clearly
uh,
anymore.
yeah. I mean, to me, the virus isn't is small compared to the huge problem of culture. The element of what the pop side of music and the underground. I mean, as far as like the pop is just so bad, in my opinion, that it's totally suffocating imaginations, and it's just so uninspired and so robotic feeling, and so it doesn't feel modern to me. Maybe it's just because of my timeline that I grew up in. And I don't think I'm alone on this. I think a lot of people have been saying this for a long time, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
like how could it have gotten like it just I'm kind of in shock at how stupid everything seems.
I know. And how fast it all
I'm sorry.
happened. I mean, like,
Yeah,
what? What? I mean,
yeah, yeah.
it's like, shut up. I mean, I'm going to tell you
I
something.
don't mean to sound like I'm above, but
No, it's
yeah,
not that.
it's just
It's a
so
shock.
dumb. Yeah, makes me mad.
I haven't wore a
Oh,
mask yet. I haven't had to.
yeah,
You know that?
sure,
I have not had to put one on. So almost,
yeah.
because down in the area where my mom and dad live, they're a little more heavy fisted in the area that I'm at, even though we're both in California. But when I had to rush down there and we missed the call in show last week, um, she had a medical issue and was in the hospital. And my dad
Oh,
sounded absolutely terrible and exhausted.
oh,
And the big problem
yeah,
that he was having, they wouldn't allow him to be in there with her. And I have a problem with that too. I mean, what's the problem with allowing just your husband to be in there watching
I
over
mean,
you?
especially at a crucial time like that.
Oh, yeah. He was terrified. Terrified.
Oh, that's sad.
So, I just tootled down, did my thing, got everybody's ducks in a row and came on back. So, everything is good. She's doing fantastic. The recovery bounce back is shocking. It's amazing. And him too. But I'm going to say, when she was in there and he was not allowed to even go in, check on her, find out, talk to the doctors, he couldn't do anything. Wasn't even allowed in the hospital. Had to wait outside in the car. It was too much for him. So that was the main reason. It wasn't because of my mom was in the hospital. It was that my dad was just emotionally drained, exhaustedly drained. So I had to go down and do some restoration there. So it's weird.
Couples are like they're like one person, and like they've been together all this time through every decade, and and when one person is not well, it's like 50% of you. That's how I always thought of the ideal couple is really, without that person, it's like life without your other half.
Mm-hmm. And I went down when she had her surgery, and I had to kick my dad out for him to go and rest. Because at that time everything was pretty darn normal. We could go into the room with her. She had her surgery. She was pretty out of it and a lot of pain at that time. But he was sitting there, just sitting up, just watching her. So, good old daughter shows up, and I kick dad out. I'm like, you go home, take a shower, take a nap. My shift, get out, go home. And he did. But I'm going to tell you, that was a longer stay in the hospital for her, and it was a major surgery. But he emotionally handled that better than he did not being allowed to be right there with her. So I think you're hitting it on the head. It's like his other half was, he was separated and not allowed to even watch over her. Mistakes are made in the hospital. They make mistakes. And if you can't have at least one person when you are not feeling well, or you're out of it, or sedated, or whatever the situation, watching what is going on, what the nurses are coming in and doing to you or giving to you, making sure they're not giving you something that you're allergic to. You need that other person there to keep an eye on things, to make sure, that's my feeling on it.
Keep your morals up a little bit, just to have that presence, unless you're unconscious. But I mean, it's like when I was in the hospital, I was glad to have some visitors, and I didn't have any, it was internal. It wasn't something contagious, so it was okay to have visitors. That was 2016. Well, so now are your, I mean, this was years ago. Sorry, is your mom okay?
This wasn't years ago. This was last week.
Visiting
the emergency room visit. The emergency in the family. Why we didn't have a live call-in show last Wednesday was because we had a family emergency, and I needed to go down there. And that's why I was saying I'm like, husband, maybe you should get me a mask just in case, because they're a little stricter down there. But I'm telling you, I have not had to put a mask on yet. I don't want to put a mask on. I don't want tape over my mouth. I don't. That's what it feels like.
I don't like that either. I do just so that other people don't freak out. Like when I go to the grocery, I'll put it on while I'm walking into the store.
I haven't had to yet, Bree.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, in
a way, it's kind of, it's like saying, it's kind of a bold statement, saying, hey, this whole thing is fear-based, and it doesn't, because even if a really strong, if somebody had a contagious, this a really bad degree of it, and you were just breathing or coughing or sneezing, that it could land on a person's eye if it was like floating in the air or on the I don't know, but
Do you know that a virus is not living, right? Viruses are not alive.
Yeah.
They have to have a host. So,
Yeah.
all of this hoopla, just some simple, remembering health class and biology and knowing how, viruses and bacteria and the differences and how our bodies work and how many cells we actually have and how many new cells our body makes all the time, how our cells actually will self-destruct if it feels that virus attaching. Our cell will actually self-destruct, but in the meantime, they're reproducing in record time. When we were kids, we drank out of the hose, we played in the mud. It's a healthy immune system. By blocking all of this stuff, we're actually taking away from our own immune system. And I have to tell you,
right, and
what's your thoughts?
That's a good point.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was wondering what your thoughts are about people wearing masks and breathing into them, and maybe they're coughing into it. Then they're touching it with their hands and adjusting it because they're sweating or whatever, and it's on their face. And now, aren't their hands, when they're touching stuff in the grocery store, more filthy to you? I mean, that grosses me out more than somebody walking around without a mask on. You know what I mean? That it's like, ew, I don't even want to go into produce because all you people are fussing with your masks with your hands and then touching everything.
I mean, if I just thought about that all the time, I think that would make me sick alone. And
it's filthy. I'm sorry. It's
like everything was always filthy. It's just the strength of your immunity is kind of just your attitude, I think, and your outlook. If you're in a kind of fear state, and everybody does seem to have like more fear in their eyes and walk away. I mean, when I'm up, around town, and part of it's because of all this kind of racial fear or this that, and just having a crazy president at the time, and for a lot of it, there's just so many reasons why I think people are kind of in a post-trauma state, and so it's up to us to kind of try to play our part to bring some sense of freedom and like everything is okay, the assurance, and that any example one can with.
Well, I'd say if you're in a grocery store and people look like they're scared, pull your mask down and flash them a smile. Do you have any idea what a smile can do for somebody's day?
Smile. Yeah, I met this girl, this cashier girl, and we were talking about art, and she studies art. Her name's Emily, and she's so nice. And while I was checking out, and I rarely meet any nice people anymore, ever. Like everybody's just kind of, I don't want to put word on it, but so I went back to the store the next day and brought some of my printings of my art, and she really liked it. So
awesome.
I just gave them to her. Just hey, and have these.
Well, because that's your heart. That's your nature.
I'm talking about a lot of things that don't matter. But
no, you're talking about what you're experiencing, which is what this is about. What your current events are, the status, your dream that you've seen, how this all ties together. The lack of cultural beauty and the lack of appreciation of even different cultures, backgrounds, art. All of this matters to the human experience that we're here to have.
It does matter. It does. It's presenting it right, and that's. But it's better to just say what's on your heart than to create a if I just write the whole thing out, then it would sound like it was pre-rehearsed. So I got to just be in the here and now. And, but yeah, architecture, I think, does make a huge difference. And it's got to change. And I was thinking about, people that live in Tornado Alley, why don't they just have tornado-proof homes? So they could just build these.
And it's always trailer parks.
These concrete cubicles that are tornado-proof. Then they wouldn't have. Because every year we keep seeing the same thing.
I lived there.
Devastated. Oh, you lived there? Wow.
I lived in Oklahoma, and at the same place almost every year, and it was a trailer park, and it got hit almost every year. Now nobody ever got killed or nothing, and it's like, okay, they've been removed by tornadoes enough. Let's just build a concrete house, or let's just leave that land barren.
Like an entire concrete community, and there you go. And then have sections for gardens and all that.
There was something about the city and where I lived. They said it had a blessing over it. We seen tornadoes that would come in heading our direction and then lift up off the ground, skip us completely, and then go and back and swirl on the opposite end. We thought it was because there was a refinery there and something about the heat pressure. Maybe it changed you always try to look at it scientifically, but the tribe that was to the south that the city is named after said, no, there's a blessing on this land and the town. So it hops, skips, and jumps over. So if you believe, which they believed as a community, the entire tribe, that the land was blessed and it would never get hit. They believed it. They didn't doubt it. And it never happened. And I watched it. I watched a tornado coming right at us, lift up off the ground, hop over the city, and then touch back down on the other side.
It's wonderful.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I do think there is regional blessing. I see it. When you're traveling around, I've seen the difference between all areas outside of Milwaukee and outside of Madison, and you can just kind of feel positive and not so positive areas. And not from what it looks like, but just the emotional essence in it that you sense in the air, or however you want to define that.
So, okay, with what you're seeing in your dreams, what are you going to do?
Of a region.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Preliminal. You're being shown this for a reason. There's a purpose. There's a say-so that you have. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing, because you have the ability, the gifts within you to imagine, to create, to be able to bring to life back. So you're being shown things for a reason. There's a reason behind it. People do not have such dreams or have such visions or, out of body experience or any, your gifts are not wasted. There's a reason. There's a divine purpose behind why you're seeing what you're seeing. You have some kind of say-so in the direction. They're showing you where it's heading, but what are you going to do in this present now moment that could do a domino effect, rippling forward and backward?
How can I inspire people with my art? My music isn't that good, so I think I should focus more on my art and try to do animation, but with a message, have it communicating something without being, rude. It's something that could reach a lot of different kinds of people all over. And I'm drawing all the time. It's just, I don't have a story, or I don't have a message except just the visualness. I'm not a, well, I shouldn't say that. No, sometimes I do write stories. I guess it's like I kind of need an art director. It works so well. My friend Cesar de Flores, he was an art teacher, and for 5 years I went to this program that was held every summer, and it was a funded program for the arts, and all these other students would meet there, and he would just direct everyone. He would just have an idea, and I'm kind of like, I really miss that. I think I need to find that there's that one person that would just I would bounce ideas with, and then just be able to, I don't know, that's what I'm thinking. I seem to have a missing director in my mind, like that is missing. I don't have direction.
Well, okay.
But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm just saying why I haven't already is.
But you're already thinking on it.
I haven't found my own voice.
But you're thinking on it, right?
I'm thinking on it, yeah.
You're concentrating on it. You're thinking on it. You're therefore creating it. And then what will happen is, you'll find the affirmation, and it'll just present itself. You're not asking for much. It will present itself, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, wow, I was thinking that. But really, you're putting it out there. And in the meantime, just thinking about it, imagining it, putting the color, putting the tapestry, the culture, the beauty, putting that into a thought process, and then just watch it transpire. Look for affirmations around you as you are just thinking on these things. It starts with you. There's something going on within you that you have say so in this direction, that it doesn't end up looking like everybody is shallow and the same and identical with no spark in them. They're, everybody's like automatons.
Right. It would be easy. I've noticed it's really easy to express all the dark negativity. It's easy for an artist to just kind of fall into that kind of melancholy, despair, and it shows in their art. But it takes real strife to overcome that and do something that raises the energy, to do something really positive with art, or with whatever a person does. That's when you're trying to make a difference. You're not just wallowing in, because nobody needs to hear depressing or see depressing or feel.
Why do you think that?
Well, I think it helps in some ways, but if you've been doing that for years, you kind of want to you want to do something that's actually helpful to people somehow.
And you don't think that
without losing, I wouldn't want to lose my style, but I wouldn't want, I want to lose the negativity, or the the kind of this where it's just about expressing all the suffering around it. And I don't want to do that. I want to kind of give a glimpse of the spiritual dimension, what the spirit world is like. I think that's what I try to do.
Well, that's your natural state. Okay. Just from you talking and your dream, you're trying to be something else. You're trying to do something else because you think that it needs to be a certain way, when that's false. Your art is your art. Express it. Most artists are so eccentric, and they're so unique and wonderful, that they paint their emotions with such elegance and beauty. They may think they're having a depressed moment or whatever, but that feeling resonates through their art, and people can look and gaze upon that art, connect with it, and actually have an experience from your art. The labeling it good or bad or dark or light or optimistic or depressive, that is a paradigm that we're coming out of. Come out of that and do what is natural to you. We're not all cookie cut out.
Glad you said that. Yeah, it's like, what is genuine? What is it you really want to say? Don't compromise it and try to control it too much, because then then the flow gets stopped. Then you have to like just keep going and not overthink it and not be self-critical, and I think that's what you meant.
No, you got the answer within you. You know this, but you're having an internal struggle about, thinking that you need to be something or do something that's not in you. Be you. Be happy that you are you. I'm happy that you're you. I don't want a bunch of, automaton, everybody exactly alike. I don't want that. I want people to be unique, divine, the sovereign. You have freedom. Express yourself. Do it. Don't worry about whether you think it's dark or light. Whatever you're feeling, paint it.
I hope I'm not a bad influence on anyone
you can't. You cannot do that. You don't. That's not even. When people look at art, do you think we walk around a gallery and look at these awesome, amazing pieces and say, oh my gosh, that one is just going to ruin me for life? No, we look at it. We try to connect with the artist. We feel the emotional, there's an experience with each piece. I don't want to go into a gallery that's filled with cookie cut out, all the same message behind the art. I want the artist to reflect.
The Santa Fe cookie cutter art.
Exactly.
Commonly known.
So you have the answers right there within you. I mean, you're seeing a future. You're having a dream, seeing a future, and what are you doing? You're trying to stifle your own natural abilities to create. If it was me, I say just do it. Flow in it. Just go what is natural in you. Don't worry. And don't judge.
All right, enough about me. All right.
It's all about you, sweetie.
What else is going on?
So what else is going on? You guys, you know what? The phone lines actually hold up to 5 calls. So if anybody else wants to call, the lines are open. You can hear the show completely, and then when we're done, somebody call in. Well, we've already been going for an hour, but that's a fascinating dream. I'm very interested for you to share again.
I was thinking. I thought I was going to talk for 2 minutes, and you helped me to. You're like my counselor tonight.
Stop it. Why do people say that? It's not that. It's I'm interested in what you're sharing, so I'm gonna dig because I know that there's gold. The surface level stuff ain't gonna cut it, dude. I want to get to know people. I want to get to know you in a way that that we're a good friendship is bonded, and that we're sharing, and we're still staying unique, true to ourselves, expressing ourselves, what is natural to us. Don't feel that you need to conform to this world. Don't feel that anybody
Yeah.
has
And-
expectations
well,
from us that are.
To ask you though, is it okay to have an intention of wanting to do something inspiring, without losing your,
Yes.
you know, yeah. That's what I do have that intent. It's like I don't want to just make crazy, random. I do want to have some point to it, something. What I was trying to convey, and still keep the being on a roll with it. Enough about me. Thanks for letting
Okay,
me
what are they talking
go
about?
on. And
It's like,
your responses are great.
be of good cheer, the Messiah is near. You guys, you will see him. He's passing before us. Don't miss the glory of God being poured out on everyone. Don't miss it. Don't be like the Israelites and miss the very presence. It's here. It's a now moment. It's happening. It's happening. And let's not take away anything that we have to offer to this world. I don't want to see that dream. But when you put your intentions in, even if you're having a what you would consider a dark day, the intentions are going to show through in your art, regardless. So
yeah, I think a lot of artists feel like that, like they had this great intent in the world around them to press them, and kind of. I think a lot of artists do go wildly off, detouring from what they envisioned when they were in their teens to like how things turned out when they were, by the time they reached age 30.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense that one for me. Like I really had well, I'm not going to go into all that. Maybe another time.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine. Thank you so
Michelle.
much for sharing.
I'm gonna.
You're awesome.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I haven't had a deja vu since the Mandela began.
You're due then. You're due for one. You're due for one. You're due for making it. Instead of following the patterns of your dreams, you're due to make a change.
I actually missed it. I liked when I had deja. Usually it was about maybe 3 times a year. It wasn't real frequent, and when it was always like I was really, really impressed by it. Like it was always a really fascinating moment.
Because you made a change.
What's that?
Yeah, it's a change. We make fun of these movies and stuff, but there's some truth drops in them, and you have a deja vu moment because you've already experienced that, because it's constantly a now moment. But maybe you experienced it in dream time, or you're doing a redo and you're making a different choice. So you have that deja vu, and it is a weird feeling, that deja vu, and then it takes a while to shake it off and stabilize again. But you've made a change. You changed something. So you're due for a deja vu.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely surprised. I've never gone this long, 4 years, with no deja vu. That's a long time. And you know what I think? This parallel, since the Mandela started, maybe when I was having deja vu before the Mandela effect, that was of this world. Like when I would have it on Sagittarius, that feeling of the other path, so to speak, was maybe I was experiencing from what it's like over here in those flashes.
And okay, before I let you go, I am curious, because I always want to know, there's no hypothesis off the table here. What do you think is going on? Do you think that this place, like I was talking earlier, is flowing as we're coming to the understanding and restoring and knowing what has been within us the entire time, the awakening? Do you think we are going to different worlds? Do you think that we're shifting timelines? Or what's your theory on that, or your hypothesis on this whole phenomenon?
I can't speak for others. I feel hijacked. I think the simulation is actually still back on the old world, but it's like a small little room, on the old world. It's like in some laboratory somewhere, and somebody else is walking around in our old bodies, but they're not rightfully there. It isn't us. I think our old bodies were hijacked while our souls were sent into this fake simulation world. That's one theory, and I'm not. I shouldn't say that's what I think it is, but that's the weird feeling I get.
That actually crossed my mind on that last huge shift that I just felt from the second, and it was about. I started talking about it about 6 days into it, and it took me another couple days to acclimate to the new. But people were different.
Mm-hmm.
The people that I thought I knew were completely different.
Yeah,
it was weird.
A lot
it was
of
a
people
weird
I know
feeling.
I don't seem as I don't know. I don't think it's because I was talking about Mandela effects, and it's not that they think I'm delusional. I haven't brought it up, and I've tried to just be at my best when I'm around them. They seem mysteriously not like themselves.
Like back into the box thinking.
Yeah.
Where they were kind of out of the box, 1 foot out of the box, but now they're completely back in a narrative, playing a role in a box. I don't know. It's a weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. It's weird. I
would rather say
that.
Something optimistic, but but that's like one of the feelings I've had all along. Is like this. A lot of people were talking about simulation when this started, and that one's kind of held on to me. It's like this doesn't feel like natural Earth, or it doesn't feel like a parallel either. It feels more like a faulty, glitchy, fake Earth. But we're still on the old world, except we're just inside this. The Matrix is like a tiny little invention made by whoever hijacked us, put us in storage into this Matrix thing, and that's why everyone's seeing different. Like what they remember is different. I don't know. I should let someone else. Is anybody else on the line waiting to?
No, just you, sweetie.
Okay.
It's just something to think about.
What do you think of that?
It was something that crossed my mind when we were going through that shift, when I seen that so many people were not how I remembered them before it happened.
Yeah.
It was odd.
Yeah, my brother and sister and my parents and my old friends. Something's just not right.
Or maybe, maybe it's not that it's not right, or maybe it's that our vision is getting clearer and we're seeing through to the truth, rather than we thought they were something else, but now our vision is getting clearer and clearer, and
that could be.
We're seeing through it, so they seem different to us.
Oh, that's why.
But to them, they're still themselves. But we're now we can see through. I don't know. It's a
good theory. That's a good theory.
I leave
I could see how that could be. Yeah.
Everything on the table, and even with whatever is going on. If people are in the box, out of the box, awakening, not awakening, enjoying the remembering to forget, it doesn't take away from, them being a divine breath of life, created being, child of the Most High, here to have an experience, to have soul growth. We come here to experience things that we're not able to experience when we are with the Creator. Creator, it's even in our scripture. It's all light with no shadow of turning, all love, all unconditional love. A lot of people, and I'm just going to touch on this with you real quick to get your opinion. A lot of people have a problem that God doesn't judge us. He doesn't think like man. The ways are way higher than ours. And we're all children of the Most High, and he doesn't see good, bad. That's not in the perception of the Creator. It never has been. We come here and experience, and it gets, like recorded, and we expand, and it's for soul growth. But we're only here for a blink of time when you think about, eternity. So we make the most of it while we're here, and we grow and expand and collect experiences, and then we move on. But for people, to grasp the concept that our Creator is all love, loves us all unconditionally and equally, a lot of people have a hard time. It's a hard pill to swallow because they want a judgmental God. When they feel like somebody's wronged them, they want vengeance. And that's not, the God that I've met, the one that I'm acquainted or connected to, is all love for everybody equally.
I always found that strange when depictions of God as being on someone's side, some country's side more than like in the ancient Babylonian stories and the Canaanites and all that. I just
they're both fighting, and they think God's on both their sides.
But it seems very racist to me. I don't know.
Right. And God is not into war. That's from stinking thinking. We should not be warring with each other. We should be appreciating, the different cultures and the colors, just like what with your dream.
Yeah.
If we, tear down every country and make them all to be identical copycats of the United States, where's the dynamics in the culture, the history, the architecture, the backdrops of the collections of art? Everything that you expressed would be gone, and that would be really sad, and we would miss it. We would miss it. We should appreciate the culture. We should appreciate what we all have to offer. So I was just wanting your opinion on that.
Because I have a kind of retro future outlook. I always liked how the future looked to me during the 70s, and everything I was reading then, and my optimism. I just imagined an enlightened society where people still felt free, and there wasn't like these kind of problems where people didn't feel safe, or because there was so many great minds that were. It just seems like the coronavirus wouldn't have been a problem then. That there would have been some genius scientists that I just don't think this people are as intelligent as they were. I think we had a lot of brighter minds that could tackle these kind of things, and it's taken longer. But no, that's not true. I'm not gonna. I have to disagree with myself. That I take that back. I don't know where I was going with that.
You know what? And the ability to retract and to be humble and say, no, that's an awesome quality. What if? Let me give you a little paradigm shift here.
Yeah, sometimes I'm thinking a train of thought and then I disagree with myself. That's how I
do that all the time. It's that inner struggle that we go through, that we're trying to find our identity, and our identity is within. Everything we need is within us. But what if, just for, observations and your perceptions, what if it is actually a divine plan to have people get off the hamster wheel, go spend some time, in quiet, slow down enough to get to know yourself, get to know who and what you truly are, and then to then create, become, we're not supposed to be cookie cutter cutouts. We both agreed to that. Right. But from where, I've come from to where I've grown into, it's a love for everybody as they are, not wanting people to change or conform in any way. I love and appreciate what everybody has to offer, and the beauty in the tapestry. We can do these things without harming each other. We can do it harmoniously. We can do this dance with being unique, without the twisting in our thinking of old paradigm, going into an enlightened, as you said, state of a euphoric ecstasy, feeling, at the same time keeping your uniqueness and operating in your uniqueness, offering what you have to offer to society, to leave your stamp that you were here and this is what you did, leaving your art for generations to come to gaze upon and connect with you. We're not, don't think that, the unconditional love that comes from our awakening process means that anybody needs to conform in any type of a religion. It's not a hive mind type of situation we're going through here. It's an appreciation for what each of us have to offer, for who we are, not what we want them to be.
That makes me think that each individual is a different reality, because we manifest. So if there's all these parallel Earths, that would make sense, because it's different for each person if they are moving in. Even though they're all related, it's in the layers of each person's manifestation, and how they can correct that at any point, but they still have to kind of go through whatever led them up to their current manifestation. That's what came to mind. Sorry.
It's a conundrum.
Sometimes talking is like pencil sketching, where I'm speaking figurative and I don't have an embellished thought. So I'm trying not to do that, but it's partially just because I haven't really had any social life for these past 4 years. So I don't talk to people hardly. So I'm trying to I almost have to relearn to talk. And that's why I haven't been doing a video show. I'm just not used to talking. It's hard to express myself when I'm talking.
Well, it's an honor that you called in, and you know what?
Yeah.
And I know you'll call in again, and because you're safe. You're safe here, and there's nothing off the table.
Okay.
Every experience.
Yeah, I don't feel pressured. I like that you don't. I don't feel strained or pressured when I'm talking to you and things. Because a lot of times I feel kind of nervous, and because other people have a lot of confidence, and I don't have. I've never had confidence. That's been my terrible problem all along.
Okay. Well, you know my secrets.
I had a Vietnam father who was screaming all the time, and I had kind of a depressed childhood. And that's why I withdrew into drawing all the time. And that
So your childhood
kind of where I'm coming from.
formed you into the beautiful artist that you are today.
Yes. So I'm grateful for that. I'm glad that he was yelling like an insane Agent Orange affected.
I'm sorry you went through that.
Very angry, and he's really the nicest person, but he was so himself was so affected by his Vietnam that it was hard for him to.
Wouldn't it be nice to put away that kind of stuff? To like get rid of that kind of stuff going on amongst different cultures and countries. It's so unnecessary. It is so unnecessary. We do not need to invade. We do not need to conquer. We do not need to kill. We do not need to do any of those things. That is something I have no problem with putting in the past and moving forward and creating something that is good and beneficial for everybody.
Yes, very well said.
But
I sure appreciate your program. I didn't want to talk too long because I know that I'm just not very articulate, and so I try to just keep it short. But thanks you're wonderful to talk to. I do feel more aware of what I need to work on.
And so are you. And just know just know that. And any insecurities or anything that's going on with you, you'll resolve them. All the answers, seek from within. You'll find. Keep knocking and seeking, and you'll find. It's your identity. It's who you are. And you know what? Maybe you're meant to be a withdrawn, eccentric artist. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's beauty in that. I mean, see it for what it is.
Yeah, I'm just responding to the world in the way that I know. So, I mean, some days are better than sometimes I do feel more confident. I can't really predict it. I guess that makes life more interesting.
Well, you know that I'm not comfortable with the way I look or the way I sound, but here I am doing this YouTube channel.
You do a great job. You look fine. Don't worry.
Oh, honey, if you only knew.
Michelle.
If you only knew.
All right. Yes, I'm all for it. Make it happen.
You know what?
I wish
you've been on the phone for well over an hour. So we had an awesome call, getting to know preliminary tonight, otherwise AKA Pat.
Oh, I wish I was more upbeat tonight. I didn't have much I just was talking about that dream. It was a funny dream. And
no, we dug deep.
Thank you. And thanks for this show. And I wish someone else would call in, somebody with a really dynamic, great concept or recent news or anything. That would be great.
You know what? No, it's not, because you took up all the time.
Oh.
Anybody could have called while you were on because the phone lines were open. But
yeah, you guys can call in.
That's
I don't blame them. Sometimes I don't have anything I don't know what to call in about. So
well, I will tell you that we didn't just talk about your dream. We talked about scenarios, situations, what you think, paradigm shifts, realities, matrix, simulation, twists, turns, reflections, culture. I mean, you shared so much about yourself, and that's what makes this worthwhile. That's what makes, getting to know each other and sharing with one another. It makes it just that much better.
I think ultimately, everyone we know, like our parents and all our friends from school and everyone we ever worked with, will be incredibly much more loving and intelligent people in the spirit world and so we're all kind of like I think the human condition is on purpose because, maybe we were getting out of hand before this life, and we needed to have a human experience to kind of regain perspective so that we can appreciate the spirit world much more all over when we return.
And then I'll ask you something that I asked to Nachikita, and because I have a perception of this place that we come here to experience things that we cannot for soul growth.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to present to you the same thing that I presented to him. How do you know that you did not volunteer to come in and have such an experience for such an expansion from going through a rough childhood to where you are today, and the growth that you are still continuing to process, to lift, to help lift things up into a balance, and to help, raise with your light, with just by being here, just by your presence, to help the awakening process.
I could see that with you. I could see you as a volunteer. So, my thought of that, I always felt like, no, I didn't really want to come here. But then I did after they explained why it would be good and what I can do. I think at first I didn't want to go, and then I realized why it would be good.
You'll be amazed.
And I don't know the specifics of that, but I think
you'll be amazed to see the lineup.
It will make sense. Yeah.
People wanting, or souls wanting to come in here to have such an experience such as this.
Oh. Yeah, now that you see everything is, when you put it that way, then it makes me realize sometimes I just lack perspective on things, and then when somebody, like what you just said, like how many people would love to have this experience?
We get, and then we get in here, we're like, this sucks.
It helps us be more thankful for what is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. See, I could talk to you for a long time, and I would learn. Like you would be a great course at college. Just to take 30 classes of Michelle. And, you know what I mean. I would just learn so much because
No,
right.
I'm not trying. Well, I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to postulate myself as anything but an equal to everybody else. But I do like to dig. I'm when I tell you guys I want to get to know you guys, I mean it. It means the world that you're sharing your experiences. You're sharing the things that are going on, that this amazing phenomena, the soul growth, even questioning, saying that you didn't think you wanted to come in here. I can tell you when you get out of here, when you graduate, and it's time for you to go, and you're back at that state with all of the growth and expansion that you've now collected. You're going to say, "Oh, wow." I can't believe I thought that when I was there. And you're going to look at this place with those eyes that you did before you came in, with excitement and wonder and just and you're gonna be like, can I go back? Can I go back? Wait, can I cut in line? I'm sorry. Excuse
me.
Wait,
I did that wrong. Can I do it over?
I want to go back. I'm gonna cut.
A little bit more wisdom so that I make better decisions.
Oh, you have no idea yet who you are, do you? You're full of wisdom. It's all within you. You've got this. You've got this.
Yeah.
You're amazing, and I want to thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you
thanks, Michelle.
So much for calling in and actually Just making my day
You have
just that much
so
brighter.
many great. You really have great perspective, and I appreciate it. So thanks for everyone in chat. I didn't get to talk as much in the chat room. We got Disintegral, Dad GPK, Go Kart Bob, and Not Chiquita was here. Not Chiquita was here for a while. Well, anyway, great show, and have sweet dreams. And
You too. Let's see where your dreams take you tonight.
Yes. Okay.
And
yeah, I'll try to find you, and that's possible. Maybe you can't. We'll just talk and go for tea. How's
no,
that?
no. Let this be my treat. We'll meet up and I'll take you someplace.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
You're gonna learn how to fly.
Okay.
Be ready.
All right.
Okay. I'll see you in a few hours.
I'll see you in a bit.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Pace, have a good night. Thank you for calling in. Okay, I'm closing up the conference and just give me a minute, guys. Disconnecting. Okay. Wow. Preliminal is amazing. What a deep and profound man he is. Whether he wants to admit it or not, I gleaned so much from him this evening. And, that's one thing about this, guys. Be sovereign and unique. Express the true you. Let it flow out. Don't conform to this world or the way the world thinks that you need to be. There's nothing wrong with us being unique and expressing our uniqueness with love and passion and caring for one another, sharing our gifts with one another. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want a cookie cutter, everybody the same automaton world. It would be boring. Who's going to line up to come in and experience that? Where everybody is dressed the same, talks the same, believes the same, does the same. The line will definitely shorten. What will happen is people like Pri will have to come back in to show his sovereignty and his eclectic, artistic flair of his uniqueness to bring the color back into the world. And I do want to leave you guys with this. Always ask yourself the same thing that I asked him, the same thing that I asked Nachikita, to think, did you come in as a volunteer? Did you volunteer to come in and have this beautiful, unique, divine experience that is creating such growth within you? The expansion that we take away after coming through what we would call Earth School is the dynamics, the growth that we're able to have here. There's nothing like it. Appreciate who you are in your uniqueness, your sovereignty, your freedom, the gift of grace that has been bestowed upon you, the unconditional love the Creator has for all of his children. Even when we're experiencing a place like this, there's no shadow of turning there. You are loved unconditionally. There's nothing that you can do here that would ever have you fall out of the grace of God. With this new understanding that we have for one another, there is no desire to harm, hurt, or be malice to anybody else. It is a love that is beyond understanding. It comes from above, and we all have access to it. Seek, knock, go within, find and you shall have. Freely it will be given unto you. With that, you guys always share what you know and listen so we can grow. And we'll see if Saji shows up tomorrow night for the live call in with some information that he looked up to share with you guys. It's pretty interesting. So with that, pace, have yourself a good night. I got to get to bed. I'm going to take Pri on some flying lessons.